let's understand with sysdate, okay, with percent put. Now you people are quite aware what percent put is doing. So it gives you the information about what we are looking for a specific requirement. It shows that information in log. So it's like your debugging technique for your macro language, correct? So it's telling me my current system date is 27th April 2022. Fine. Now I just use this technique. I'm telling percent let this year is equal to ampersand sysdate. Fine. Whereas last year, maybe I'm extracting the function of year. I'm extracting only the year from this. All right. Let's check. Year on sysdate. Okay, we'll do one thing. If not here, let's see if it works like this. Is anything missing? Okay, so in case now you know what is this year, okay, or forever for maybe this date. So let's use percent let. Mm, So can anyone just help me out why it's not coming? This function to extract, we are extracting only year from this. Instead of this, can we
Ashwini,
use?
sysdate will be character value, right? And year will be numeric, right? The function.
So we are using this, right? So we're using this sys function to be used on this.
We can use substring to extract the year, and then why can't we do -1 from that using percent eval?
Okay, if you're trying that way, let's use
Like
substr,
yeah, this year equal to
substr on your,
sysdate.
it's at what location?
We can type like sysdate 9 comma 6th place, I think.
So it's giving this, only the year,
Yeah.
22. So we
Using
can use
percent.
sysdate 9.
Hmm.
Sysdate 9, it will give you the 4-digit year value. Okay,
So from this using percent eval minus.
let's check. So see, did it give last year 2021? So
Yes.
like this, if you want to go back date, suppose 10 years back, just write like this. All right. So see, 10 years back, 2012.
Yeah.
Okay, same thing. I hope others are understanding what we are trying to do. Priyanka, Swarupa, Vikram.
Yes, Ashwini.
Okay, fine. So last year, this year, so we can calculate it. Okay.
Oh,
So I have one
Ashwini,
question. Yeah.
sorry, I was saying something. I didn't realize I was mute. So I understood how you did this, but I just was curious to ask one thing.
Hmm.
Even if we were just taking the year out, why didn't we just directly do sys year, then sys date?
This year,
Like instead of system date.
we don't have this year as a macro variable.
I thought
Did you
when we,
check? Did you check your automatic macro variables? Do we have this here?
let me see, because I think I wrote it down from, or maybe it was something else. I thought it
Check
is.
this, see? Person put underscore auto. There's some spell check with automatic. See, so it's showing as if it's a text, so it's coming as it is. So do we have this here somewhere here? So this is all alphabetically, okay? So its last is V. So there is no cis here.
Okay,
All right. Okay.
got it.
Apart from this, suppose I'm writing some example where x is equal to, I give, suppose it's 2 divided by 3. Okay, fine. And I write put percent eval on my macro variable. So let's check.
It should give point. It should evaluate that, right?
So it's giving me 0, but it
Yeah.
should give me some values which is with decimals,
So,
correct?
yeah.
With
Do we
integers.
within that?
Yes, so tell me, do you have anything over here what you can do it? What I'm trying to tell you? How you'll overcome this? It is a mathematical expression, and percent eval does give you the expression mathematical to be conducted for this macro, though it's a text value, but eval performs evaluation. But here, why it's not doing? Any idea?
Do we need to give the format for that, like
No
after
need.
this one?
No. So we have a function called a upgraded function %sys eval f. So what does this do is it works like eval itself, where it evaluates your mathematical expression. Sys eval is more modified with evaluation with integer values. Getting it now? So in case you are returning with some integers, syseval will also give those, which was not a capability of only eval. Getting it? So the function is syseval f. Fine?
Yes.
All right. So this was all about our
And
evaluations. Okay.
can you just
Any questions? Yeah.
paste that code in the chat box so that we can?
Okay. So I hope everyone received that.
Yes, Shani.
Okay, so let's move with our lesson number 4, which is data step and SQL interface. So let's understand through this chapter that how one can create macro variables while your data step is processing or while your ProcSQL step is processing. So we'll be creating macro variables in data step. We'll see what indirect referencing is, and of course, we'll understand how one can create macro variables in SQL. So let's start with the first topic, creating macro variables in data step. So objectives here is create macro variables during data step execution, and we'll describe the difference between simple text routine and %let statement. All right. So now look at this program carefully. So it's a scenario where you need to automate this production report in such a way that during the processing of this table where order type, now make a note, this order type column is the column which is giving you the information about the order placed or the particular product was purchased by a customer by which method of transaction, that means by which method of purchasing, that means either it was a retail sale or it was a catalog sale or it was an internet sale. So one indicates it's a retail sale, two indicates this order type, in this two indicates the digit number 2, it is a catalog sale, and if it is order type 3, that means it's internet sale. Okay, it's there in your PDF book also. When you are processing this data for order fact, there is this note provided, and even if you have observed this PDF carefully, they have explained about this in your PDF at the beginning itself. If you have practiced it well, now you are using this table since your PG2. So I hope you are aware that we have various types of orders or sale performed for Orion Star organization. One indicates it's a retail sale, two indicates it's a catalog, and three indicates it's internet. So this is the report which is generated where it has a title telling it was the order placed between some date, month and year, and they want to automate this program in such a way that depending the type of order, that in case it's the order placed or the purchase was done by internet, it should automatically update your footnote. So because now here in this given period of month and year, the report which is generated, there is no internet type of orders, hence the footnote is accordingly coming no internet orders. So you need to accordingly write a program in such a way that your program is written and your report is updated accordingly. So this is what automation of your code you are doing. So it's telling you need to automate the production of your report below with a footnote that indicates whether there are any internet orders. So in this current given, date, duration for the month and year. There were no internet orders placed. Hence, the footnote gets updated, no internet orders. In case if I change this period of my date, and in case if I get even 3 internet orders, it should specify 3 internet orders. So accordingly, your report which gets generated should be automatically updated with the footnotes as per your data been processed on that particular condition. I hope you understood what we are looking for now.
Yes.
Everyone, Swarupa, Shanmuga, Priyanka, Vikram,
Yes.
Priyanka,
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
all right. So here, let's see this. Now we are creating two micro variables with month and year. Okay, so month you are manually writing the value, year you are giving the value. You're creating a data set orders which will be specifically subsetting the information for orders placed in this particular dates. Okay, so the input data from which you are extracting the information is order fact from Orion library. This end is actually it's a data set option where end is a it's same like how we use with merge in equal to dataset option. Same thing, it is end equal to dataset option where you can create a temporary variable called final, and this variable will have a flagging system or will use it as a flagging system to indicate whether the current processing of the observation is the last observation or it is the non-last observation. So in case if the value currently processing for the observation is last observation from this data set, then the value for final will be 1. So it is having a Boolean expression 0 or 1. So it's just an indicator which we are creating so that we can use it later on in a program whether the current observation is the last observation print process. So end equal to dataset option, you can use it for using it in your program for a logic to understand if it is the last observation so that you can write further statements. All right. So you are creating a temporary variable called final. Then you are writing a where statement to subset your data on your specific year and month. Fine. So you're extracting year from this variable order date, and the year should be only the year which is 2011 with a macro variable value. And month is extracting from order date, and the month value should be this value. So you're creating this data set according to this dates. All right. So now you are giving a condition in your data step telling if your order underscore type column is equal to 3, then you create a variable number which is going to be an incrementing number plus 1. Okay. So for every value, if the order type is 3, this number variable will keep on incrementing. So you know this is an accumulating variable where we are using this as a sum statement, correct? Then you are writing if final. So what is final? That means it's a temporary variable which you are creating, which is flagging that in case if it is the last observation, then do put the value of number into log. If number is 0, that means if there is no internet order, then do create a macro variable foot with a text as no internet order. And because it's then do statement, else do create a macro variable with the same name foot. In case your order type is equal to 3, of course number will keep on incrementing. So this condition will be false. Then it should create this macro variable foot with the value as some internet orders. So end is for this else do. This end is for this conditional if then do if it is final. Okay, so it's the last observation. And then you are using this order data in your proc print to generate a report. All right, is this code understood, everyone?
Instead of some internet orders, is there possibility to get the number of internet orders?
We'll do it that later. At this point, just understand this. Is this fine?
Yeah.
Is this code understood?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll show this code for you here. So within your macros, it's lesson 4D01A. The same thing is here. Fine. So in case if you want to check how this number is coming or what the value this in file is showing, let me use put statement with put log. Correct? Put log. Let's check underscore all underscore. Fine. So see, with your put log underscore all underscore, it's giving you the contents of your PDV. So see, final currently the observation which is processing is not last observation, hence final is 0. Correct? I hope you understood where final has come because you have created this end equal to dataset option in this set statement to create a temporary variable final. All right. So that is why we are getting in PDF initial value for final is 0. And of course is the first iteration of your data cycle, hence underscore and underscore is 1. So see number currently is 0. Why? Because this number will keep on incrementing only when you have given the condition for if it is internet ordered. So if order type is 3, then this should get incremented. But current observation is not having order type 3, hence your number value is 0. Okay, so if you have observed currently that what is your order type, it's 1. Getting it? Hence, your number is not incrementing. All right. And if you have observed this, see, all right. And these are all the values. Fine. Same thing. So it's extracting for order type 1. It's because we have used the condition to subset your data between these two values. So in these two values for month and year, there is no internet order. But in case if I increase suppose the month by 3, and let's check in case it is finding in this month for the same year any internet orders. So data set is created. So yes, here is one internet order, here is one internet order, here is one internet order. So let's check your PDF for your log. So order type is 3. It's still not a last observation, hence final is 0. Okay. Now check the number value. Does number got incremented? So count is 1. Okay. Now here in this order type is 2 for the same month and year. Okay. Your number is still 1. It's not incrementing. But in this case, in your third iteration, number is 2. Why? Because it's the second internet order. Getting it? Everyone? So in
Yes.
this iteration 4, order type is 1. So your number is not incrementing. It's still showing 2, which was the previous value. Are you all with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Great. So now this was the last observation which has been processed as per the condition. It is selecting this as the last observation. So look at the final value. It is 1. Why? Because we have created this flag telling end equal to this temporary variable should be having a flagging system to understand whether it's the last observation or a first observation. So currently these are all no last observation, but because this is the last observation which has been processed, hence final value is 1. All right. So now in case if you want to check the values for your foot or your other macro variables, just check with percent put ampersand month ampersand year. Let's use ampersand foot. And let's use this proc print for your current data set. Does it gives you some internet orders in your output? So it's giving some internet orders. See? All right. So it's telling here no center. Let us make, because you have changed the system, you write it some internet orders. It should come in center. All right. So you get some internet orders. Okay. So what was your proc print of, sorry, percent put for your macro variables? So it's month 3, year 2011, some internet orders. All fine. So your current condition is fulfilled. Fine. So in case of writing some internet orders, you can also make use of telling here you want ampersand number. Or in case here,
We need to create macro for that, right? Number.
okay, I'll show you about this, how it keeps on incrementing when you'll write this over here. Okay. So we'll check it later. All right. So this is how you are getting this information for your particular program, where you're creating a data set and you're using it in your proc print so that it gives you some internet orders. So this is where you keep on creating this macro variable. All right, moving ahead. So why is footnote incorrect here in case it was the year? Now look at here, because I have changed this value for month 3. In case if I change this value manually and see in the same, does we get any change in your report? Okay, now let's check your proc print. So your still it's giving, see here, your order type is 1 everywhere, but still your footnote is coming some internet order in the month 2, and in the year 2011 it should come no internet orders, correct? Because we have created this macro variable foot with this condition. In case number was 0, that means in this month and year, if there is no internet order, that means order type is 1, so your number is going to be 0, and your footnote is a macro variable which you are creating where you are telling no internet orders, but it's giving you some internet orders in your output of your result. So why is this coming? So why it's not automatically taking it as no internet order? Any idea? Now what is wrong?
Can you go back to the code, please, once?
We need to use the if statement also for the micro, like you have to create like that.
Where you are telling me to use if statement?
Yeah, statement has to be also macro.
Where, like where you are telling me?
If
Can you
if
just
then do,
specify
if then do,
which if then to?
number one.
This one? This is on this condition you are creating this variable. It's incrementing on this condition.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
No, no, just think. You're telling here to write do, correct? That's what you're telling me, correct? Right? So in case if you write it as number, initially it is 0, then it will get increment. So this is what you're telling me, correct? Swarupa,
Yeah, yeah.
so this is how you was trying to tell. Let's check.
Some statement already it will retain the value. No?
Still
Should
it's
not,
giving some internet order.
actually, we are not limiting the month to it, right? It continues reading all the, because we have just given year and month to put in the answer, but not to stop it at the end of the second month, right? So should we
Mm,
not,
yeah,
so should we not do like if the month kind of it, if the month is 2, it should stop there and then read the number.
but actually we are subsetting the data. So of course we are going to get the information only for the month 2 and the year 2011. So it's already going to subset your data. And according, what are we doing? We are building a logic that
Mm.
within this given period, in case if you have any order type value through internet placed, then you are creating a macro variable that it should automatically take that in case if it's order type 3, then this internet order, which is the footnote which you're creating as a macro variable, your proc print should give it as some internet order. But in this given period, if your order type is not getting extracted, there is no internet order in the given period, then the footnote should accordingly get updated that it's no internet order.
Yeah, I thought that, but then it should not be given that answer, right?
Okay, so you are coming to it, but yes, more think on it. Anyone else? Vikram, can you just give your inputs on this? Any idea if you know? Yes,
Uh,
I hope you're
no, I'm not.
understanding the
I'm not.
scenario here.
No, I'm not too familiar with
Okay.
the data set.
Oh, no problem. So data sets, we have a library which you have created. So if you have observed this data set Orion library or within your path of macro also, you will see order fact table. So this is the table. If you want to get familiar with it, you can just see this is the table. All right, where we have columns and these are the rows. So this is quantity and here you have the column called order fact or order type. Okay. So this is what we are facing the problem with this particular logic. So that's what is telling. In the year 2011 and the month second, there were no internet orders placed, but still your output footnote is coming some internet orders. So there is no syntax error, there is no data error in your code, but it's a logical error. With respect to this, why it's not taking automatically no internet orders? That is what we are expecting in our prop print. Okay, so this is what is happening. Okay, so we know when this step is executed with %let statement initially, because we know SAS process the steps in sequence. So initially it encounters this two %let. So it will create these two macro variables in your symbol table. Now look at here. When your data step is processing, of course it is going to subset your data. So wherever it was ampersand year, ampersand month, it got resolved from symbol table and it is processing it. Then you are giving a condition of your order type 3, but at the same time, it's not an execution phase, or you can call that this data step is into its compilation phase. So when it encounters a %let statement, it will create a macro variable foot into your symbol table with this value, no internet order. Now understand, it's a compilation phase of your data step. So it will again move ahead to read your %let statement. Now your current %let statement, earlier one it has executed. Now it encounters your next %let statement. So as per the rule, the macro variable is already existing into the symbol table. So the same named macro variable, but the value will get overwritten, correct? So in your symbol table, it's already having footnote. So now it gets overwritten as the new value, some internet orders. Fine. So now there is nothing in your data step where it has to be creating any macro variables. So hence your global symbol table is now having all these macro variables. So this is the at the end of compilation phase. This is what we see at the end, that your global symbol table is ready with the macro variables. And that is why during your execution, your footnote is not executed because it was your compile time statement. But because your proc print got executed, it checked for footnote in global symbol table to resolve the value, and it finds it is some internet orders. Are you getting it? Because of this, we are not getting the exact result as expected here, that it is not coming some internet orders. Why? Because your global symbol table is going to be a static value for footnote, which is some internet orders, which is not changing as per this data values. Are you getting it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Everyone?
Should we
It
fix
should,
the naming, like for earlier, we should fix the naming to their respective labels.
Label? What label we are giving?
I mean to say, like for the first footnotes, that we have given some label, and the second footnotes we have given some more label. So
Hmm.
We should do something to fix those naming part.
Yeah. So that's what we have to write the logic now. But now this is what the situation is happening with the
Ashwini,
current scenario. Yes.
second. I just want to ask one thing before you tell the logic of how you will rewrite the steps. Like
Hmm.
as Nilima said, we have put if then to end, and if this follows the procedure, if the condition stays same, the answer remains same. So when
Hmm.
it will read if number equal to 0, which is at 0, it will
Hmm.
give no internet orders and it will end it. It will not
Hmm.
go to else do, because the number still stays 0 throughout every order in February, right?
Hmm.
The number stays 0, so it should not take some internet orders as the second footnote. I know it will rewrite the footnote because the footnote is same, like the value of foot is same, but it
Hmm.
should not read else do anyways because the number always stays 0, right?
This percent-let statement is a compile time statement during your data step. So there is
Mm-hmm.
no else do there. So that's why it was showing you like this, right? So it's during compilation. See, word scanning begins, macro triggers are encountered during
Mm-hmm.
compilation. So see,
Mm-hmm.
compilation begins, so your macro variables gets resolved in your data step. So it's your data step compilation phase. So when it encounters another, so during compilation, why it will check the condition? Number will not be created during compilation because it's going to work on this condition at the time of execution. But
Yeah,
percent-let statement, it's a compile time, hence it's creating this. So why it will again check a condition? This is again during execution,
compilation.
not during compilation. Getting it? So that's why it won't check for compilation with else do. It will just check how to compile your data step without any errors. So during compilation, during word scanning, it finds it's a macro trigger. Hence, it was creating this macro variables. Are you getting it now?
Getting it. Okay.
Understood.
Hmm.
So the compilation phase is complete and ready for execution. But when
Got
you are using this foot into proc print, it's giving you this type of values in your report, which is incorrect. When it is resolving your footnote, it's not coming correctly. All
okay.
right.
Mhm.
So think upon it. Just think upon it. I'll give you 1 minute.
An execution phase will not change the compilation form phase, right?
Yeah. So Priyanka, what you was telling me?
I was saying that in compilation form phase, it went one by one throughout all the steps and it found percent let foot and it stored that place. But when it will go into the execution phase, it will not rerun it. Shouldn't it be like in the execution phase, it should rerun the same things to the conditions given in the logic?
But why it will resolve your footnote in data step while execution? In execution, you're just creating footnote. We are using this foot into your proc print. So your proc print execution will be resolving this foot. So what is a stagnant value in your global symbol table for foot? Some internet order
Internet,
currently.
right? Okay, got it.
Got it?
Hmm.
All right. So this is where we are using percent-let to create the macro variable. Percent-let is actually a compile time statement, but we have to write a statement apart from percent-let where during the execution phase of your data step, the value for your macro variable be accordingly created depending on this condition. So hence you'll get introduced to a statement called as calls input text. Okay, so now let's understand. I'll just show you how it works. So I comment this, I write call input x. Okay, I create my macro variable by writing it into quotes and I give the value for it as a text telling no internet orders. Fine. And I use the same statement instead of %let for my second condition. If there is some internet orders, I write it this way. All right. Now let's check. I re-execute the same thing. Let's check with the same month and some same year. Is my proc print giving me the result where it gets automated according to my data value? So see, order type is 1. My footnote is now coming appropriately, no internet orders. I go back into it and I check for the third month for the same year. Let's see if it's my report is automatically updating with footnote telling some internet orders. Yes, it is giving me now some internet orders. So this is where now you people getting introduced that while your data step is processing, at the time of execution, you are creating a macro variable with a call input.x. So this is a statement which creates a macro variable footnote with this text. So it's called as input.x. So it's a routine which it is performing at the time of your execution phase of your data step. So unlike %let at the time of compilation phase, it will not create any macro variable during compilation, which is going to save the fixed values. But when we are using calls input.x routine, it is going to create a macro variable dynamically as per your data value. So what it is doing during execution phase? So what is your condition for the current month and year? Is this condition true? Whether it is order type for my current observation 3. So my current observation for the first iteration order type is 3. It's true. Hence, it is going to enter this to create this variable number which will keep on incrementing when order type is 3. So it's telling if it's final, then it will create this macro variable, but currently it's not final. So maybe it will move ahead and it will create this some internet order. So if you check your log and if you see this processing, so it's not final. So it's keep on processing this for your order type. Again, it's not final. So your order type is true. So in this case, for your condition where you are telling if order type is 3, but at this second iteration, order type is true. Hence, it will not enter this to execute. Okay. But it will check because currently your order type is not 3. So your number value is going to be this, correct? Hence, it is going to move ahead to have your footnote as no internet orders. Getting it? So this is how it's processing for every process, and depending on the value of your order type 3, your footnote value gets created. So if you check this at the end, your footnote is telling some internet orders. All right. So let's see the same on your slides. So it's telling input.x routine. So we are going to get introduced with the statement input.x routine. So input.x routine assigns to a macro variable any value available to your data step during execution time. So it can create macro variables with the following, either with a static value, that is the text which we have provided. So this is a static value. So there are three ways of creating macro variable. So one is by giving the static value. Second way, dynamic value, which is data dependent. Third way, dynamic value, which is data dependent name. So this is what it's telling. You can create macro variable with input text with either three steps, with data step variable, with the expression, or with the character literal. So in our current example, we have created with a literal. Correct? Why we literal? Because we have put this into quotation. So it's a character literal, right? So this all ways of creating macro variables through Simputex is going to save in your global symbol table. So in our current example, now look at here. Now look at this. Your Simputex routine is a data step statement that assigns a text value to a macro variable. So this is our execution time of statement. So depending on this current statement, if initially your order type is not 3, then it will create a macro variable with no internet orders. So this is in that iteration. So when it goes back into second iteration and when it finds yes, it's order type 3, it's true, then it will skip this and it will create this footnote with some internet orders. Are you getting it now? This is how it is dynamically changing the values as per your data step conditions. Are you getting it? So hence, it's not like %let, which works during compilation phase and creates a macro variable with a static value. But yes, it's a dynamic way of creating because it is an execution phase type of statement. Depending on this condition, these values are getting created for this condition. Are you getting it now, everyone? So a
Yes.
Simputex routine is a data step statement that assigns a text value to a variable every time your data step is iterated into new iteration cycle. Depending on your condition, this statement will create a macro variable. So in case currently your order type is 2. So if order type is 2, this condition is false, correct? So it's telling if order type is 3, then your number variable should get incremented and it should move ahead, correct? But it's not order type 3, correct? So it's not order type 3. So your this condition is number is 0. Hence your footnote will be no internet order for the current condition. But in case if it's order type 3, so this will keep on incrementing. Hence this is going to move to Simputex to create a macro variable some internet order. Are you getting it now, everyone?
Yes.
Okay. So when I check my log, now look at this. In this iteration, it's order type 3. So you'll get this that your calls input text routing will have in your global symbol table the value as some internet order. Okay. Then when it is order type 2, at this phase, your calls input text routine will be no internet order in global symbol table. All right. So now when it's at the last iteration, it's telling order type is 3. So currently your input text routine will be the value some internet order. Are you getting it now? Depending on this values. Now, in case if it was 2, now let's see. In this month of 2, we know there are no internet orders. So it's telling no internet orders. Now, why this is happening? It's because at this time, when their order type is 1, your condition for this statement is false. So because it's false, it will not create or it will not increment your number value with 1, correct? So the condition is true that number is 0. Hence, your footnote is no internet order in our global symbol table. At the time of execution, it is taking this value. So it's a statement which is working at the time of execution phase and not at the time of compilation phase. So it's dynamically going to keep on updating the value depending on your data step value, which is getting changed during your execution phase. Understood now, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Swarupa,
Yes, Ashwini, but it seems very complicated.
Yes.
so look at here. Its footnote is incorrect. So let's check the same with this demo. So once you start working on this and you revise it carefully, you will understand what I was trying to tell you. So at this point, you will find it's a bit complicated, but don't worry. If you work on it, it will be all fine. So let's work same thing. All right. So let's check this with your percent or simply write put put log underscore on underscore, and also check percent put with your percent put value every time wherever you are writing. So I copy this here and I check the value if your condition is incorrect. Okay, all right. So currently your month is 2. Okay, so see, because this condition is false. Why? Because your month 2 does not have any internet order 3. Why? Because if you see this, it is telling internet order is not the value, order type is 1, it's not 3. Why? Because in the given month, in the given year, there is no internet orders, correct? Hence, it's telling you when you are processing it for the initial time, at this first iteration, your order type value 3 is condition false. So because this is false, it's telling to create a macro variable during execution phase with the value as no internet order. And because this is going to create, this will skip this value. And therefore, still your footnote is having no internet orders. Are you getting it at the first iteration cycle? Are you getting this? Understood?
Yes.
Right? Because this will not execute. This will execute only when it is order type 3. Because your number will keep on incrementing. Now, because order type is not 3, so your number value is 0. Therefore, it will create this macro variable in your global symbol table with the value of no internet order, and therefore it is not processing this statement. And because it's not processing this statement, your footnote is going to be same. Hence, it is the same. Understood now?
Yes, Ashwini.
Everyone?
Yes,
Yes,
Ashwini.
Ashwini.
Great. So now look at here. In case I change this now, because in the third month we know there is some internet orders. So I execute this. Let's check your log. But before log, understand your data. So now the number of rows have increased. Okay. So it's finding with this third month in the year of 2011, order type is 3. The condition for subsetting data is there where you have subsetted with where to select only month 3 and year 2011. So looking into log, let's understand if order type is 3. So at your first iteration, your order type value is 3. So this condition is true. So because this condition is true, it will create a variable number and it will increment. But currently it's the first value, hence value is 1. Okay, for your number. Now let's check for your footnote. So is it the last observation? No. Correct. So if, because it's the not last observation, because it's final, is it a last observation? No. So it will not move to create this macro variable. Else it will create this macro variable and see the value now. It's still showing this. Why? It's because it's at the end because we are seeing it for this current product. Okay, it's showing you this value. Fine, it's not updating. It's because it is showing you the process of this current whatever we have processed. So because it's not the final, so in this case, if it is a final condition, then do your number value and it will move with your text routine value with some internet orders. So if you go ahead and check your proc print, it's showing some internet orders. All fine? Understood how it's working?
Yes, Ashwini.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the value of foot after execution of your data step? Is it no internet order or some internet order if you write this data step? Now look at this data step. It's a null statement. Now why it is writing a data underscore null underscore? It's because, make a note, calls input text routine is a statement which is used only in a data step. It is not an independent statement like %let. So %let is a statement which can be written anywhere in your step or outside your data or your proc step. Okay, but if you want to execute a calls input text routine to create a macro variable, it should be written only into a data step. So here we are not creating any new data set, but you want this statement to be executed. Hence, it's a keyword called underscore null underscore, so that this data step executes with this statement to create this macro variable. All right. So with these two statements which are creating macro variable, at the end of your data step, the question is what will be your foot value? Will it be no internet orders or some internet orders? Now, if you know what a compilation phase is and execution phase, accordingly answer this question.
I think we'll go for calls input x value because the question is after the execution of data step.
Okay. So what would be the value for foot?
No internet orders.
Okay. Others? Thanks, Nilima. How about others? What's your input here now?
No internet orders.
Vikram, Sarupa, Priyanka.
Yeah, A.
A.
Yeah, A.
Vikram, A?
A.
All right. So answer is going to be A. Now understand why. During this data step is being processed, we know for every step there are two phases, compilation, execution. So during compilation, it will check for syntax check, but during compilation, it goes to word scanner, so it has a trigger. So your foot will be created as some internet order. And when it finishes the compilation, it moves into execution. Calls input text is a execution time statement. So foot currently in your global symbol table is with some internet orders, but because it has encountered again foot, it will be no internet orders. So word scanning begins, data step compilation begins, %let encountered, macro trigger executes. At the step boundary during execution phase, data step executes and call routine gets creating this macro variable with no internet order. So calls input text routine, it's called as a routine. It's a keyword. It's called as routine. Why? Because it's a routine process of your data step to process this statement of calls input text. And it is an execution time statement. It's not a compile time statement. All right. Okay. Now look at the next scenario. Now, as Nilima, I have asked the question at the very big. Now, because we have 3 internet orders or 4 internet or 5 internet orders, according to the count of how many internet orders, your footnote should dynamically change in your report. So enhance your footnote on the previous report to include the total number of internet orders. Okay, so this is where now will come into this code. So what are you writing? You are subsetting your data and you are telling to subset on order type 3, increment your number depending on this condition. If it's the last observation, calls input text number, create a macro variable number where the value is coming from a data step variable. So this is the variable which you are creating in your data step, which is through a sum statement. Correct? We know sum statement, it creates a macro variable. Sorry, it creates this variable, right? So the macro variable created num is coming from your data step variable. So as per the 3 steps of creating macro variables through calls input text routine, one we saw with character literal, second we are seeing it with the second step. Now it's coming the value from a data step variable. So in this example, we are creating this macro variable with a data step variable value. Okay, so now let's check in the month 1 and in the year 2011 with this current proc print, do we get any count of internet orders in your footnote? So here it's giving you. So why it's coming like this? It's because we have user system option no center, and because of no center, your report will be not shown into a center area of your report window. And PS means you're giving the page size should be 20. So how many lines it should fit into your report? So 20 lines. So page size depends on the line 20. So I don't want all this, let it be into center. So let's change this options from no center to center. So I'm changing the order. I re-execute this code so that my report part also comes into center, so that it will be appear in the proper page on your output window in the center of your page. So see, this is count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So accordingly, your footnote is updated with 5 internet orders. Why it's come like this? Because you have used in footnote ampersand num internet orders. So what is num? It was created in your data step at the time of your execution phase. So in your global symbol table, the macro variable value for num is the count depending on this condition. Now look at here. I'm using this with the second month. Now you know in the second month you don't have any internet orders, correct? So let's check what it comes. Ampersand now. Okay, so for this month, where did we change here? Internet order to, not here. We want this month to. In the month of 2C, 0 internet orders. Is it correct? Why 0? It's because you have given this condition order type is 3. In the month 2 in the year 2011, this condition was false. Hence, your number value will be 0. Why? Because you know this is a sum statement. At initial phase, it will take its initial value 0. So it will not increment. So because it's not incrementing, why? Because this condition is false for this particular criteria. So your num is 0. That's why you're getting the result with 0 internet orders, which is true. Getting it, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is your second syntax where you're creating this macro variable from a data step variable. So the value is coming from this variable. Whereas in earlier example, we were creating this macro variable with this literal, okay, which is called as a static value. So this is not changing as per this any data step values. So it's changing only depending on this conditions where you are providing this value as a literal value, constant value. Fine. Okay, so this was one example where you have dynamically changed the value with the count of internet order. So the same, so it's telling copy the value of data step variable into macro variable. This is what it's doing. So this way of creating a macro variable, again, it follows the same rule as your %let statement. So it's telling maximum characters saved for creating this macro variable value can be 32,767 characters. Okay, values of numeric variables are converted automatically to character by using best dot format with a width of 32 characters. Leading and trailing blanks are removed from both text arguments. It's same like your %let how we are creating. That's it, and a demonstration D01C. So I would request you to go ahead and work out with demo D01A, D01B, and D01C. So this is what I was telling. Chapter 4, D01A, B, and C. Go ahead and work on this. So let's move ahead with this business scenario. It's telling further enhance the footnotes by adding the average internet order amount and last internet order date. So wherever there is internet orders, only those total retail price you need to show it as average internet orders in your footnote and the last date when the internet orders was placed into your footnote. And this is this demonstration. Okay. So this is with this D demonstration 0. Now look at this code. Same thing. Okay. All right. Only thing is now depending on this condition, you are writing three statements. Hence you are writing then do. For this single condition, you have three assignment statement. You are creating number, which is incrementing. We are creating amount, which is going to be incrementing amount for your total retail price. And you are creating a variable called date, where the value will be coming from an order date, which is your data step, or from this data set, we have this column order date. And we are going to retain the value for your date. Okay, end. So this condition, then do, ends here. Then you're telling if it's the last observation processing, then do. Again, within this then do, you're writing only if it's the number is 0, then create two macro variables, dat and average, with the value as na. So it's a constant character literal. And if it's incrementing, that means if this is false, then it should create a macro variable with the value for date, and you're giving this as an expression. So it's where you're writing a put function to convert your numeric date to character by applying this format. And again, because it's an arithmetic operation where you're calculating the average, okay? So amount is divided by number will give you the average. So it's going to return a numeric value, but you use a put function to convert numeric to character by using this value of format $8 dot. All right, so now this is where your data step will get executed. Now let's see for the month of 1. Let's see for your data set being created. So your data set will have certain values for the month of 1 and year 2011. For your order fact table, what will be the order type and what will be the values. So it's taking long to execute. Let's wait for this. So see, your data set is executed for the first month for the year 2011. Okay, so your data set is created. Now let's use this all information to print it so that we get appropriate footnote with your macro variables getting resolved accordingly. So here in title, your macro variables for month and year is resolved successfully. So wherever there was only the internet order, only there this amount values should be taken to calculate its average, and only the last internet order, which was 28 Jan 2011, is been shown into your footnote with the format of MMDDYY 10 dot. Understood? Now I'll ask you, you have this internet order at observation 1, at observation 4, at observation 10, 11, 12. So take this amounts and try to calculate its average and see whether it's coming the same value, or it could be a decimal values. Here they have round figure it, all fine. But check manually, either you can open your calci and add these values. Go ahead. So in our case also, so anywhere you see calculator, your
It's 124.2.
Yeah. So it's getting somewhere round figure. So did you take its decimal values also?
No. Yeah. Okay.
195.60 plus 37.80 plus where we have third one 102.40 plus 113.20 plus 174.40. So this is your total. Okay. Sure. Again, I'll have to do it. Okay, so did you finish?
It's
Yes.
124.68.
Six
Yes.
sets, it got round figure.
Yes.
Here, why? Because we have applied a format that it should be $it dot, and because of your put, your amount, whichever is total divided by 5, it will give the value and you are round figuring it. Hence, you are getting a round figure value, which is 125. All fine?
Yeah.
So this is how dynamically you're creating a macro variable, and this is the third method where you are creating this macro variable through expression. All right. So as per this slide, the three ways of creating macro variables: one with data step variable, data step expression, and literal. And your current example has two ways: one is with literal and one is with data step expression. Okay, so in case now we know in the month of 2 there is no internet order for the same year. So let's check the output. Why it's giving any?
No internet orders.
Yes, because in the month of 2 we know there is no internet orders. Correct? Agreed, everyone?
Yes.
We had seen in earlier examples in the month of 2. So because of no center, you get this report like this. In your output window, it's not taking the center alignment. Okay, by default. But again, I re-execute, it will take a proper center alignment. Okay. So why it's not coming? Because I have used no center. I change this. I want a center alignment. Done. So this is where you see. So you can try this. Open this demo, lesson 4D01D. Now let's answer this poll. So it's telling you should complete this calls input text routine statement, which creates a macro variable called date. Complete this call to assign the value of your variable so that the current system value you are using it, and it should be formatted in the form of date 9 dot. So how you'll complete this statement?
We can use put function.
Okay, so you can look the current demo, how they
Yeah.
have used it.
So put function within parenthesis current followed by the format.
Do we have a variable current which will extract your current system date?
Here they have called to assignment.
So there is a variable current. Okay, but what about us? Okay, fine. You use this variable current. Fine. And how about the format?
Date 9 dot.
Okay. Put current comma date 9 dot. Agreed, everyone? See?
Yes.
Or we can use ampersand system date. Is that what you are expecting?
Yes, that was I was expecting, but it's okay, fine. But the question was with the existing variable current. All right, no problem. Okay, so this is all about how to create dynamic macro variables during execution phase so that the values are dynamically changed. Okay, so now look at this next scenario. It's just the scenarios to understand how one can use this macro variable statement to be created for your reports. Now it's telling that you are creating a bar chart where you are giving title, you are getting this legends, and you want this legend here, and this legend is taking approximately, it's showing you that the order for this period, whatever the period is between this date, overall orders placed are 148, and overall average for what this orders, the average is this much. So you want this dynamically changed, this legend, depending on this requirement. So based on user selected time periods, that is on this time period, dynamically compute statics for automatic inclusion within graph values. So this is what they are telling. So look at here. First and foremost is to calculate the average. Okay, so this average and how many orders were placed. They are using Procmins. Through Procmins, for this data set, they are not creating an output, but the output data set is created. So it's telling output out equal to create a data set where the statistics n should be renamed as count and mean should be renamed as average. And you're subsetting this between the given time period. So it's demo D02. So before working with this, let me show you how this procmins works. If you remember that with procmins, one can create a data set. I hope if you remember in SAS we have learned it. So if I don't write this and I comment this, you know this is the procmins where your analysis variable is total retail price, correct? And you are getting this output time date, this is date because I did not select this dates and time. That's why it is not subsetting in my data set. So we are subsetting on start and stop date. So what is the start date and stop date? 1st Jan to 31st December. Analysis variable is total retail price. Now you know by default proc means gives statistics like mean, median, sorry, mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum. And by default you get n, which is the count, which is the number of non-missing value, which is 148. So there are non-missing values for this data. For this variable, the total count is 148. Now, in case I do not want this data to be generating the result like this, but I want this result to be saved as a data set. So I write this output statement and I write out equal to. Now you know what output statement does. It will direct the result to an out data set and I give the name for it as stats. So currently I don't use this. All right, so now let's check. Now by default, I'll be getting its result and I'll be getting its output data set also. So the result, you know, it comes into the result window. And because of output statement, you have used the option out equal to. I got a data set created within my output tab of my this. So it's giving the data set name is work.stats and this is the data set. So if you check your log, so see proc means the result has been executed. It's telling 148 observations were read from Orion.order fact with subsetting of your date values with where and proc means used. And because of output statement, out equal to, you have used this stat as a data set to be created. It's telling work.stat data set is created. Now understand, this were all your statistics, correct? So when you create a data set, this statistics appears like this. Fine. So frequency means total number of rows. So this type gets activated if you use any class variable for classifying your report. Fine. And this is for total retail price. It's statistics. N, minimum, maximum, mean value, standard deviation value. Now, when you want to create this data set, this is default. It comes with the statistics like this. So in the result, the statistics appears columns, but in data set, they appears as rows. All right. Fine. With this, how one can create or direct the output of your procmins towards SAS dataset. Yes, people.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Now I don't want all the statistics. I want only n and mean. Fine. So for that, you can simply write you want n and you want mean. All right. So in case if you write like this, let's check. So this is not the way you give it like this because it is treated as the options for your data set. So let's use keep equal to the variables or these are the columns. Fine. So you know what keep equal to is? It's your data set options to select the columns. So we have an alarm. So it won't be selected like this. But in case if you want to select it, what we do it as? We use it as if to rename. So we write n should be renamed as this. See, you write is n equal to count and mean equal to average. So you can write n equal to count and mean variable is should be represent as avg. So let us keep it in proper case. So now the output table created. Of course the result will come because it is default output like this. So when you see this output data set, you will get the column. Now the rows will appear as only two columns, count and average. All right. You don't want this result every time being processed because again processing this output, it is going to utilize your system options. So you write this no print so that it will not give you the result, but it will directly give you this data set. So you get this data set only with count, frequency and type. So you get this. Okay. So in this code, you have created this data stats which have count and average. So we'll be using a data step to create your dynamic macro variables, orders and average. So here you are using data underscore null underscore set. You're creating this through input dataset stats, which you have created through procmins. With calls input text, you're creating orders where the value is coming from this dataset count. Average value is coming from this AVG from this dataset which you have created from this. Then you are using proc sgplot to create a plot on this table where you are subsetting your data on this dates. VVAR, you know, is a variable on which you want to generate the vertical bars, and the variable name you're giving order type. So response means the height of your bar should be on the basis of total retail price. Now you know very well, if you do not write this options as response, it will by default give you the count height on the basis of its frequency values. Correct? So by default, so this is default output. See, it's giving height is on the basis of frequency counts for order type. Now in your order type, there are three values, 1, 2, and 3. 1 for retail, 3 for catalog sale. Sorry, 2 for catalog sale, 3 for internet sale. So the height is with respect to frequencies, correct? Now from where this frequencies is, it's same frequency count which we see with procfric. So this frequency is actually the frequency counts for this height. See, it's 324, so it's more than that. 170 for order type, so it's between this and this. And the frequency count for internet sale, 123, it's between 100 and 200. Getting it? I hope you are following. So in case now you don't want this height on the basis of frequency count, so you select this option which is there. If you read it, you will understand. So the option you can write, you want it on the basis of the numeric variable total retail price, which is from your data set. So the height of this will be changed on the basis of your values of total retail price for every order type. Okay, now it is not going to show you because the syntax for response, it should be response equal to. Okay, so it's telling you, but here, if you have observed this table, it will give you the discrete values on your order type for each total retail price. Okay, so what you do is I go back here, I select this, and you see the output. So see, this is how it's showing you. Okay, so this is it showing you the overall sum values. Okay, sum value for all your internet type or your all your order type retail or all your catalog or internet type. So overall its sum discrete values are all summed up for your total retail price. But you don't want this sum value default, you want its mean value. So you can write mean equal to, or you write just a mean statistics. For that you have sum var as an option, so you write it as, see, stat is mean. So you want the stat should be as mean. Okay, so the height will now calculate with not with the sum which is default, but the height of your total retail price will be calculated as mean values. Okay, so the mean value for catalog sale is higher compared to type 1 and internet. All right, so see the result, this is changed to mean values. Fine. So these are some of the options you can explore when you are doing it. Fine. Now it's telling you want to group this on the basis of order type, and you want this current result which is coming up, you want this result to be glossy. Okay. So you can do that changes as per this report. Then you want reference line to be shown as ampersand average. Now where this ampersand average macro variable has come, okay, so you have calculated this from this calls input text. Fine. So you want this average values as reference line, and your it should refer on your y-axis. So you're inserting a legend with this text. Okay, so that the box appears on your report. So what box? This box. Okay, so this is the option which you're using in your program. So the option is coming as in insert statement. You're giving it into parenthesis. You want the color to be blue. Weight, it should be bold. Okay, so it's telling text values. So border you want for your legend. So your x-axis, your type for your order should be discrete. Your y-axis value should range it from 0 to 320 by a difference of 40. Your formatting, label, and title. So this is overall. So this you can always explore yourself by using this type of statement as I showed you separately like this to explore. Fine. Now if this is clear, let's move ahead and execute this program to check whether we are getting the result as per your demonstration or as per your business requirement, where you're getting, see, it's y-axis, it's on the basis of your average of your total retail price, and it is having the reference lines also. Okay, and this is where the color combination with gloss and your legend which you have inserted a box, it is in blue color with bold with your values of your macro variable. Got it? So this is how one can write your program to enhance your reports by using macro variables in your data step with calls input text routine. Fine. So here you also get introduced to procgplot and its various statements or options within your various statements. You're getting this fine. Any questions on this now?
We have to explore on this Gplot.
Yes, you'll have to explore, but just understand this
Yeah.
is what we are getting as per your business scenario.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can explore it so that you get an hands-on on graphics also. And that's it and an exercise. So with this, we'll stop for this topic, but I would request you please revise this demonstrations, especially explore the demonstration for this graphs. All right, so read more in your help documentation related to Gplot. All right, everyone.
Yes, Ashwini.
Okay, so we'll stop for this day. See to it you practice with this exercise and the demonstration. So on your next class, we'll be starting with this topic, indirect referencing to macro variables. So if you have any questions, we can always discuss it in your next class for this previous topic. So for today, we'll stop for the day. Wish you a good night. Have a calm sleep. Take care and bye. Thanks attending for the class, each one of you. Bye everyone. Take care.
Have good day, Ashwini. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, Priyanka.